to understand that grad school is not a joke.
Grad school is hard. At U of T, if you have a 69, that is an automatic fail. 69 is an F in the Faculty of Law. Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Ask Mo. My name is Mo, I'm a lawyer and I'm licensed to practice law in the province of Ontario. I answer questions relating to how to get licensed as a lawyer in Canada, grad school, and general advice about life in Canada. Please note that whatever I say in this video is not legal advice. Someone asked a question about things you need to know before you move to Canada for school and things you need to know before you start grad school in Canada. In my last video, I spoke about non-academic things you need to know before you start grad school in Canada as an international student. In this video, I'll be sharing with you some academic things you need to know before starting grad school as an international student. So a quick background about myself. I got my Master of Laws from the University of Toronto, so I have some experience and I know what I'm talking about. This first point is relevant if you're starting your LLM because the person who asked this question is starting her LLM. So the first thing you want to know is, do I want to do a course-based master's or a thesis-based master's? In my case, I did a course-based master's, and what that means is I didn't have to write a thesis, whether it was a long thesis or a short thesis. All I had to do was write long papers, write exams, and write articles. If you're doing a thesis-based master's, you have to do a long thesis or a short thesis. Now, that doesn't mean you won't write exams or assignments or papers. You might still have to do those things depending on the courses that you pick, but you have to do a thesis. Having a conversation with the dean of the Faculty of Law at the University of Toronto, and she told me that if you are forward thinking and you already know that you want to do a PhD, it is advisable to do a thesis-based master's. This is because if you do a thesis-based master's, you already have a thesis which will be published anyway, so it's easier for you to transition into doing a PhD. Me, on the other end, if I want to do a PhD, I have to publish my papers, I have to publish my articles, which is stressful. Publishing papers are stressful. But if you do a thesis-based master's, it is easier for you to transition into doing a PhD. So you have to decide course-based or thesis-based. Attend introductory talks. When you come in as a graduate student, you come in with so many questions. You're confused. You're moving into a new country. You're moving into a new environment. You don't really know what's going on. So you're going to have so many questions. And in graduate school, they have a lot of introductory talks for graduate students. So please, I know some of these talks can be very boring, but attend, ask your questions. Some of you want to know, how can I get a job on campus? How can I improve my resume? How can I improve my writing skills? They have all these things available when you go for introductory talks.
You have to understand that grad school is not a joke.
Grad school is hard. At U of T, if you have a 69, that is an automatic fail. 69 is an F in the Faculty of Law. I don't know about other faculties, but in the Faculty of Law, if you have a 69, you fail. Now, in Nigeria, if you have a 70, that is an A. If you have a 69, that's a B. So you can imagine my shock when I came from a country where 70 is an A to a system where 69 is an F. It was a shock. I didn't see it coming. So you need to tighten your seatbelts and work extra hard. I worked super hard in grad school. Like, it was so intense. Ooh, I worked hard. So grad school is not a joke. You need to know what you're coming for. You need to bring your A game. You need to come correct because it is not a joke. You need to know that, okay, I'm coming to mingle and socialize with other people, but this is my number one priority. You need to put in the work that is required. You need to come correct so that you can deliver. The writing skills needs to be on point. As a lawyer, all we do is write, and write. So I'm sure in other faculties as well, you also need to write. So your writing skills needs to be on point. I remember downloading an app called Grammarly, and this app would pick out grammatical errors, typos. It was very useful for me. I'm sure there are other apps out there that do similar things as well. So if you need to download an app to help you improve your writing skills, please do it. Approach your lecturers if you do not understand anything. Guys, admin law was a struggle. Whew. Admin law was so vague. I didn't do admin law in Nigeria, so I was so confused in class. I'm like, what are they talking about? What's really happening in this course? God, I can't fail. I can't waste money. And so I went to meet my professor. I was like, Prof, you're doing a great job, but I'm not getting it. I don't understand. And she was like, don't worry, do a practice exam. Let's see how you're doing. After the practice exam, we'll see what areas needs to be worked upon. And I did a practice exam, and in the practice exam, I failed. And she corrected me, told me what I needed to do, and I passed the course. So guys, if you don't understand anything, walk up to your professor. Remember, you are paying. Don't keep quiet. And I was also shocked because in Nigeria, I don't think any professor will do any practice exam for you and sit you down and say, do a practice exam. If you don't understand, we'll see the areas that needs to be worked upon. Fine. If you don't get it, you can walk into your professor's office in Nigeria and ask them to explain. But I don't think anyone ever did a practice exam for me. But here, your professors are usually being graded at the end of the semester. You students have to give feedbacks for your professors, and so they want to do everything to ensure that you understand what you're being taught. So if you don't understand, approach your professors, and I'm sure they will be happy to explain to you. Build your resume. This is the time for you to build your resume. Volunteer, do other interesting things that you can add to your resume. There are so many things to do. There are so many events that you can volunteer in. Build your resume, add things to your resume. I was an executive member of the International Student Caucus. I was also a secretary in one other club, I don't remember. But do things, pick up leadership roles, join Toastmasters, do all these amazing things so that you can build your resume. Is join the Facebook group of your class or of your set. In my set, we had a Facebook group. Don't say, oh, I don't use Facebook. Facebook is Raz. Facebook is for old people. My friend, join Facebook. If it's Instagram they use, join Instagram, because they post very important information on this group, and you won't want to miss out on this information or any announcements that maybe a professor has, or something going on in your class that you want to be a part of. So join the Facebook group of your set or of your class so that you don't miss out on important information that is being shared in your class. Next thing is networking. Guys, this is the most important point in this video. Network, or so you're tired of networking. This is so important. I don't like networking. I just like to chill on my bed, watch Netflix, have a cup of coffee. But I had to learn how to network. Go for job fairs. They have a lot of job fairs. Go and see what employers are out there. Go and see what jobs are available for you in the job market. Go and see what employers require of you. Go out, see things. I know for last year they have OCIs. And last year I represented my employer at the OCI. We go there, we interview students, we see what they have to offer, look at their resumes, go out and network. I had to learn how to network. I had to go for seminars where they taught us how to network, and how to act when you go for networking events. So let's say you go for a networking event and you see 3 people standing, drinking a glass of wine, and there's room for one more person. That means they're inviting you to come in and join their group. That means they want you to come join us. There's space for one more. But if you see 3 people standing and they are close, there's no room for any other person to come in, that means we don't want you. We're complete. Go find another group to join. I didn't know these things. These are the things you need to learn. That's why I said go for seminars, go for events so that you can learn these things. I didn't like networking, but I had to stand up, get out of my comfort zone, and learn how to network. Another person you should get close to is the GPC, and that is the Graduate Program Coordinator. This person will help you in many ways. The graduate program coordinator has a lot of resources. I didn't know that if you had a 69 at U of T, it's an F. I didn't know until I went to meet the GPC and we had a conversation. I remember my resume as well. It was really bad. Oh, it was bad. But she helped me. She told me the things I needed to write, how to write a good resume. So all these things make the GPC your friend, because if you don't go and meet the graduate program coordinator, he or she won't come and meet you. So you need to find the GPC and make good use of the GPC. And the last thing is, guys, make sure you sleep, eat well, and exercise. I know grad school can be very intense. It can be very overwhelming. It was for me. I was like, what is going on here? Like, I was in school for 6 years, but like this 1 year is a whole other level. It was very intense for me, so I had to find a way to distress. If it's drinking coffee, going to a coffee shop, if it's watching a movie, if it's hanging out with friends, just find a way to distress. Sleep properly, sleep well, eat well, and work out, and just have fun. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys learned 1 or 2 things. Next episode of Ask More, I'm going to be doing something a little bit different, so you guys should watch out for that. Thank you so much for watching this video. I can't wait to see you in my next video. Bye.